Hi, Jessica.
Hi, Vanessa. Ugh, why do I say that every time? Hi, Vanessa. That's good.
It's like you're landing. It's like your bird landing. Like, hi, Vanessa.
Yeah.
What's up?
Another week on planetary, doing the human stuff.
Right? A lot keeps happening to us each week. I don't even think I notice how much happens, except for the fact that we meet every week and I have to think about what's happened and be like, oh, I've learned things and grown from things and expanded through things. And I don't usually document them. So we're documenting this.
But first, welcome back, or welcome if this is your first time finding us. You are listening to Context for Chaos, where we dive into the spirituality within our worldly human experience.
I was really trying to be intentional about what we talked about today, and I had a plan, but we just started catching up, and the thread is tight, yes. And it is moving directly from last week's conversation into the future. And so why don't we just start with you telling me what it is that you have learned this fine Memorial Day weekend?
Oh my God, yes. So I was on the phone last night with an ex-lover. I don't know. We didn't really date for that long, but we were very compatible in a lot of ways in the bedroom. Let's say that. And compatible as friends. So we had our little moment of separation, and then recently we've started talking again, but kind of talking as friends. And I like that because I actually like having, a male perspective, and also just anyone that likes to go deep and likes to explore the mind and is open to curiosity, right? So we're having this conversation, and I'm wondering with, what has happened with him and what's transpired with other recent flings or even distant flings. What is it that I'm looking for? What is it that I'm supposed to be excited by in terms of my love life, or what it is that I want from love? And I was telling Jessica, I think that I was coming from a first place of deficit. I think a lot of us come from a first place of deficit, which is, I need you to just make me feel lovable. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure what lovable means to me. I'm not sure what is lovable about me. I just want to feel that way. And if I don't feel that way, either I'm not worthy, or you're not enough, or this relationship isn't enough, or, and I think that's kind of the breakdown of long-term relationships, is we don't really know what we're oriented towards or where we're going. I just want to feel better. So I feel like I've gotten past that part, but I've been in this long, tunnel where it feels like there's not even any light or any coloring or anything. It just sort of feels like this emptiness of, if I don't need to feel that the other person's love for me is now infusing me with love. I love myself. I like who I am. I love my friends. I love my life. I have a lot of gratitude. I have a lot of abundance. If I don't need that from them, then what is it that I need? What is it that is going to make me happy? What is going to make me feel like more is coming into my life with this other person? So I'm on the phone with this guy, and we're talking about a hiccup he's having between him and a friend. And I'm noticing that he has a lot of avoidant tendencies. What I mean by that is, I think a lot of people are avoidant who come from traumatized homes. And I think all of us who are starting in that deficit place are coming from some kind of trauma or some kind of abandonment or loss, or just not being reflected, not being seen, not being told that you are going in a right direction, or whatever. So when we move past that, now we're okay, I'm a human, I'm in my body, and I'm operating, and I have a behavior that is supposed to be getting me what I want. And if you're avoidant, and he's a guy who kind of really understands his trauma, or understands it through analysis, he's really analyzed it. But he has this hiccup with his friend, who he says he spends a lot of time with her. They love hanging out. They're really, really chill. They're kind of besties. But she's recently been feeling triggered by his need for space. And he was I don't feel like there's any unrequited love here. I really do think we're just friends. And I was okay, interesting. So you have had this relationship with this person for at least months, if not maybe a year, and you really, really like them. And now you're feeling uncomfortable and trying to push them away because they are feeling some kind of trigger or some kind of reaction to something. When, for me, with my friends, and what I've experienced with my friends, is that's an opportunity for deepening. That's an opportunity for the other person to be healed because you both are mirroring something in each other. So maybe try to get a little more curious, maybe start to ask some questions, have some compassion for the fact that this person's in pain and now that pain is triggering your pain. So to destroy something or to say, well, now we need these boundaries that kind of cut off really significant parts of our relationship in order to manage and maintain a surface level, non-stimulated experience. This is what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to like shut things down. And I was like, that's not, I wouldn't want to date you. I'm just like, if this is how you feel with a friend, I wouldn't want to date you. And something kind of clicked in my head where I was like, oh, wait, maybe this is the light at the end of the tunnel. This is where it's getting to. This light at the end of the tunnel. Right? I'm like, oh, and maybe this is unique to me. Maybe this is broad to all of you. You tell me. But I need someone whose default is to make me happy. That's your default. Your default is to want to see me happy.
Okay.
If I'm feeling triggered, if I'm feeling hurt, I want your initial reaction, your gut reaction to come to me and say, hey, what are you feeling? How can we work on this? I want you to feel happy. I want you to feel at peace. I want you to feel good with me. So without losing myself, but I want to understand. So I'm not going to dance around it. I'm not going to push you away. I'm not going to wait till it's over. I'm going to directly ask you because I think this is a moment where we can get to know each other better and we can get a little bit closer to each other.
Yeah.
And I've had that in probably our relationship with my relationship with Monica, most of my friends. This is why we're so close with each other, is that if there's a moment of trigger, we work through it or we walk through it and we don't personalize it. Right. So I'm like, this is interesting. This is an interesting reaction I'm having to this person because I do find a compatibility between us, meaning like we both like to talk to each other. We both have a sexual compatibility, but I don't see like what we've been talking about, a value compatibility. He values his freedom and space and autonomy. I value someone's override of I want to make you happy because that's my default. My default is I want to see you happy. I had to learn that, and that's made me feel a lot better in my own body and in my own skin and in all of my relationships. I would rather listen to you, open up to your pain or open up to whatever's happening than shut down, react, and push away from you. That's what I mean by happiness, is like what's going on inside of you. How do I connect with you when you're happy, when you're clingy, when you're squirming, when you're excited, when you feel like you're being too much? Like, how do I connect with you? How do I draw us both in and have a deepened relationship? Now, obviously, there's things underneath that are more about what I need and not about what I value that cause a deepening or like a more compatible like structure. But I don't know, that's a realization I have.
I dare to speculate that it's not pulling away from the other, it's pulling away from your own pain and discomfort.
Yeah.
Not being curious about why, where. Like if you're feeling something uncomfortable and it's coming out of a relationship space, then the source of the discomfort is the other. At least maybe from my own experience. It's not being curious, not wanting to be close. It's just finding that the source of my own pain comes from without. So
that's the mirror, right? Like that's the metaphor of the mirror.
Metaphorical mirror. That's interesting. So when did you realize, so you kind of had like a aha about the other person, and that regardless, it wouldn't, that wasn't the value that aligned. And like, is that what you learned about yourself? That it just simply wasn't, you were like, oh, this is the value for me.
Yeah, that's exactly like it felt like I was creating my own commandments and my own, like, you can't give me what I need. And I'm not saying that you have a deficit in terms of me. You might feel like you have abundance. You might feel, I don't see that. I think he's operating from a deficit, but that doesn't matter. You can't give me what I need already. Mm-hmm. And if you can't give it to me right now, unless you come back into my space and specify that this is what you want to give me and show up in that behavior, it doesn't matter. You are not going to make me happy. And so I think that that deficit feeling is one day this person will make me happy because it's based off of, am I lovable? Not off of what do I want to expand in my life? What do I want to see more of? What do I want to embody and inherit and pass down to my children, to whoever? That's what I think a lot of us are afraid of building, because it does cut a lot of people out of the equation. And if you cut a lot of people out of the equation, then it's probably more so that you're looking for almost anybody to tell you that you're lovable, and not for a smaller group of people to say that I want to share something with you. I want to see you feeling a certain way. And that makes me happy, is to see you happy, because that's what I give. I give that naturally. If I was to date this person, I would be going against my open-hearted nature, because I would have to adapt to the fact that anytime I open my heart to this person in any capacity, be it overwhelming joy, he might feel trapped in that now I always want to be with him, to I'm hurt by you. Oh, now there's expectations. It doesn't matter. I can't be open-hearted. And that's who I am. So you will not make me happy. And these are things where it's like, I like you. I think there's certain things, there's qualities about you that I want to see in a partner. And I'm glad I got to see that they're real. But you right now, as you are, will not make me happy.
I'm glad I got to see that they're real. That really resonates in this moment for me.
Tell me.
I sent the text and I'm sitting with the discomfort, like what's coming up, what's going on, why did I do that? I was in a conversation. So I was in a conversation with someone that I'm involved with physically, very involved emotionally as well, but the circumstances are sort of, everything is out of alignment. So it's just become a friends with benefits. But it's a newer friend. So the intensity of getting to know someone and becoming emotionally intimate with someone, and like just really finding someone on this planet that I adore through and through, and like I'm very excited to converse with, connect with, spend time with. And then adding the physical element, I'm sitting with the reality of my emotions as they come up, like the intensity of my feelings towards this person. I just want to spend all my time with him, but it's very romantic in tone, and we spend a lot of one-on-one time, like kind of behind closed doors. But then out in the real world, it's very friendly. When we are out in public, there's a resistance of expression in that, I don't want to lay any claim. I don't want to be romantic in expression out in public, because this is very much, we're just enjoying each other's company. But the chemicals, the chemicals are loud, and
Limerence.
And intense. But that's the thing, is while I'm sitting with the reality of myself as I know me, limerence, hyperfixation, avoidance, trauma, all the things, all those lovely little labels that I have stuck all over the water bottle of myself. It's all close, but not quite. The limerence is not limerencing. The information that I learned of this person, I'm fully delighted to integrate it into the reality of him. And, I'm not, if I catch myself in a loop thinking, I'm stopping it. Like, I'm finding I'm able to recognize patterns and stop them faster in the moment, in the little moments. But I am still excited to spend time with this person, to see this person. I'm still in a place, it's not like my whole life clicked together before I met him. I'm still in the place of building community, trying to create abundance around me socially. So I maybe or maybe operating from a deficit. But so I'm still trying to build. And then this person enters the chat and it is so juicy and it is so good. I'm having so much fun knowing him. But the sex is complicating things. And, he is so loving and so giving and thinking of my happiness. We're just so open to communicating. I feel great talking about these things with him. And, his love is big and pretty endless, and it feels really robust. But then when I'm out in public, I find myself frozen and sort of holding back because I do just want to get soft and melty and gooey and just give in this space. But that would feel antithetical to the agreement of the space.
So, is there something you want from this relationship? And it doesn't have to be with him. It could be even just what you are transforming within yourself or getting close to in yourself.
Yeah, so that's I want full expression. I want the right to fully exist within this connection and like just really lean into whatever is coming up. And I have not previously, like as much as I can remember, I haven't really thought about it that hard. I have not involved myself physically with someone that I'm just friends with.
You haven't been so relationship-y with someone that you're not in a relationship with? Okay. Situationship.
I have been so relationship-y. Like I have been fully, like there have been very good friends of mine that I have become relationship-y with, and that has blown up in my face. But I've fully leaned into it, and I have, I've behaved as though I'm their partner. I've really given them the experience of loving me and the excitement that they've developed for building on that with me, that has backfired. This is something where I am in a place in my life where I'm so open to developing and fully experiencing loving another person. And that is not the circumstance. Like it's been agreed that is not. And because for me, that looks like a family, a home, building a life together. In that facet, it's traditional. In many other facets, I'm open to, build your own life experience. But so this is the first time that I'm wanting to really lean in and just really experience the full width of the connection, where it can go, what it can do, how it can change my life. Like, but this is just okay, it's friends who are physical. And so what does physicality mean? Like, because sex does not mean love. Does not a relationship make, so I'm sort of trying to parse all that stuff out. The second spot, and he was outside sitting, talking to someone, I found feelings of jealousy coming up. And I was like, okay, that's real. You're feeling that. And then that they disappeared. And I knew what was going on. And the girl that I was sitting with, it was her friend, and she was like, oh, where did she go? Where'd she go? Goes to find her. I go outside because I'm about to take off, and they're right around the corner. He comes over to me. I tell my girlfriend, I'm like, hey, your friend, she was about to like go scavenging in the men's bathroom for her friend because she thinks she disappeared. So I'm like, hey, she's over here. They reconnect. He comes over to me and he's just like, oh, I was just making out with her. I'm like, cool. Like, I don't feel one way or another about him making out with her, but I do feel one way about me not feeling like I can fully express, and that sort of shutting down is dictating how him and I connect out in public. Like, I find I'm unable to like allow myself to talk with him, to like communicate effectively or like comfortably, and I'm sort of holding myself back. I don't really know where the lines are of like, because I want to just be like, when it's just him and I, it's so juicy and easeful. And then out in public, I'm like, okay, what's appropriate, what is not appropriate? And I don't know. I'm not interested in dancing on that line, of finding that line in real time, because like this isn't a relation, like it's not going anywhere. Like, if this isn't a relationship that I need to invest that energy into, I don't need to negotiate this line. And so I just smile on my face, said bye to everyone, like I walked away, and I just texted him and was like, let's just table intimacy. Like, I don't like the way that I'm feeling right now, and we can talk about it or not talk about it, but like, I think there's just so many things coming together where it's like, this is so easeful, this is so abundant, this is so good. And yet, with the shift in circumstances, I don't feel it's appropriate that I enjoy it fully or experience it fully. And so that means I simply need to renegotiate the terms of the engagement. But in that moment of redefining the terms of engagement, it felt like I was doing the withdrawing. It felt sort of reactionary. And like, I don't feel great, so I'm just going to shut this all down. But once I woke up this morning, it was like, no, I want to be in a place of abundance. I want to be able to fully experience and express and communicate and love someone. And it's okay that I can't do that if I can't do that full time, because I don't know how to leave the bedroom and not just be all up in your business. Like, I love, it's like,
I mean, that also sounds like your intuition.
Yeah. Like, I'm so grateful that I'm getting to experience this type of connection where I'm like, it is real.
Right.
This is real. This specific connection isn't real in like a fully realized way. But those little points of identity, like those little markers of values, the things that, so there's so much that is good. Yeah, that I'm like, it's nice to like, it's such a relief that this is real. And I can renegotiate the terms of engagement so that I can remain like clear-headed. And
it was the terms of negotiation. It's like, so I think sometimes when we withdraw, it's this intuition, right? It's like, I am saying this to myself in a way of, I want to extend the idea that you know what you're doing and that I am just confused or I'm off. That's what I mean by it. It's like, your intuition is saying he doesn't want me as much as I'm feeling I want him, period.
Yeah, girl, my tragic flaw is assuming competence in others.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
my father's told me that my whole life.
Yeah, exactly. You are assuming competence, and you're assuming your incompetence. You're assuming that you don't know what your body is feeling, because if it's a lover, if it's someone you like, if it's someone that's hitting all these buttons, you want them to potentially still have the possibility of being that person.
Yeah.
Guess what?
What?
If it were to happen, it's not happening tomorrow. So it doesn't matter, right? It literally doesn't matter. What you're experiencing right now doesn't mean that 5 years down the road, that's not the person that you end up with, but it's not happening tomorrow, right?
No.
So it's adding that extra, it's giving yourself a little bit of buffering room instead of saying, I've got to cut off something that I'm getting fed by, right? You're getting fed by something. This person is offering you something that makes you feel an abundance, even if that person isn't saying, I'm going to feed it to you all of the time or forever, meaning.
Yeah.
So if you really like it, you know, unless it goes against some kind of real boundary or something you're working on, something that you're triggered by, unless it's,
nope.
but yeah, right. Maybe these are just juicy grapes. And you're going, well, I want a vineyard. And he's like, yo, I got a vine. And you're like, okay, well, then I shouldn't be eating these grapes. And then you're on your
It's not even that he has a vine. He's just like, I'm only interested in eating grapes currently.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't have anything more for you. And then, you know, when you're on your deathbed, these are the things that you're going to look back on and be like, I should have fucked that guy until he left. You know what I mean? I should have just enjoyed the freaking grapes, you know, like, come on. And this is that limerence. This is that false reality that a lot of us get tied into is, if he does not emulate this reality, is he respecting me? Am I respecting myself? Am I truly tapping into a love field? Am I truly growing? Am I really expanding? When in actuality, most of your growth, I don't think you could really pinpoint the one thing that made you grow.
No.
So this might be a peripheral experience for you. It may be something that is a not an edge piece of a puzzle, but one that's just fitting into the cloud. But it doesn't mean that it is any less important to the tapestry of your change and your growth if it feels good, if he gives you things, if you can have those boundaries of, you know, I would like space when we're out. Not why are you taking space from me when we're out? I want space when we're out. I'd like my grapes with you in my room alone, enjoying it, and we get to be the fullest expression of ourselves. But me personally, if we're out doing that stuff, I'm going to feel like your girlfriend. And I know I'm not. And I know that's not going to happen. So I'm taking that self-possession. I'm saying that I don't want to behave in a way that's going to break my heart, but I don't want to give up the things that I'm really enjoying from you and that I'm learning, that I get to open up and say things and express in ways that I was too scared to with other people. And now you've made me a little less scared to do that. So thank you.
Real, very real, very. That I did have that line of thought, and then I went with, shut it down.
Is this the text message? Okay? Are we now in present time?
Yes, we're in present time.
All right, let's go.
I sent the text message. The text message was just. It was literally just, hey, I don't like the way that I feel right now. We don't have to talk about it, but I think we should table intimacy and see how friendship feels without benefits. Have fun, smiley face.
Hi, bomb. Yay, bye.
Oh, yeah. I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to feel this way.
This is that operating from a deficit. I don't feel lovable.
Right.
At this moment, yes. You're not making me feel lovable. I don't know what lovable is.
And this is why I made you record, because you were saying all these things and I was like, these are things that are pinging for me.
It's your ego.
Currently. It was like, because it's not his job to make me feel lovable, but like, why is he not making me feel lovable? Like in this moment, like when he makes me feel so lovable, and he doesn't not make me feel like, I know I'm lovable. I love myself. I know I'm lovable.
But see, that's what it is right there. It's, what do you love about yourself? What are you getting from this that enhances your own self-love?
Self-possession.
Your own self-possession. If it doesn't, then hell yeah, get rid of him. If he comes over and takes and behaves brutishly or doesn't care about you or doesn't listen to you, then yeah, he's not feeding anything, he's taking. But is he giving? Is there a part of this that feels like you get to soak up something, that sunshine is coming down onto you, that you're really enjoying the relationship? That's the question. It's not whether or not his behavior is making you feel lovable or not. It's that can't be the measure of what you're experiencing. You have to know what it is that you want from him. And if it does not fall into that realm, it's a problem.
Right. Brilliant.
Or it's that you haven't thought this through. It's limerence then, because you haven't thought it through.
I haven't thought. Well, and this feels like, and like you said, this feels like another expression of those tiny moments of huge change that just add up so quickly you can't even point them out.
Yes. Oh my God.
Because it's just a huge opportunity to, again, self-advocate, discern, to build my own parameters of my own joy and lovability and abundance, and then just say, hey, it feels best when I do it like this. You cool with that?
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be an all or nothing thinking, which is a huge trap. That's a minefield for me. Like, there's an opportunity to just, and I do step on the all or nothing, shut it down trap. Before I get to these
codes.
Yeah, they've had to reset the nuclear codes so many times because I'm like, cut it. So thank you for sharing your story with me, because I was sort of, and then I go into, and this is my protocol, is I send the nuclear codes, and then I feel the space and the ability within myself to explore what's coming up and how I feel about it, and to be able to, like, clearly, without the pressure of needing reconciliation or resolve, like, something needs to happen with another person. And so there's this pressure, this like ticking clock of needing to sort that out or sort out where I'm at. But if I just detonate the relationship, then I can parse through how I'm feeling. So this is enlightening.
Yeah, I was also thinking about, I don't know if you were told this when you were a kid, but my parents had a really bad relationship, but they stayed together for 20 years. Well, they were together, I think, for almost 30 years, but they were married for 20 years. So I saw them together for a long time, but in a very negative relationship. And when my mom was like trying to teach me about love, not directly, it was always indirectly. It was always some proverb instead of like, your father cheats on me, it was, it's not really direct. It's just, don't do this thing, fable. She would always say, love is a decision, Vanessa. Love is a decision. People think love is passion, and they think it's chemistry, and they think it's, I don't know, she listed a bunch of different things, but she said it was a decision. And I think that watching people have such a negative relationship and hearing that was difficult, because you're telling me that that this isn't a good relationship in some way, but you're not. I don't understand what you're talking about. Like, I don't know what love is then, because you aren't showing me anything of what this decision looks like. So what does that mean?
Right. So what do you decide to love?
What does that mean? Like, you're just telling me don't do that. Like, there's literally nothing. Well, okay, well, what do I do? I don't know. Just don't do that. Like, so I realized actually through this process yesterday, I was like, oh, I interpreted love as a decision as tolerance. I'm able to put up with a lot. Right. And it's not that
I choose to deal.
Yeah, they fought, like they were contentious. They weren't physically loving, but they weren't overly abusive. I mean, well, my dad was a big yeller, but there was no hands thrown between them. Even if she had that like aura about her, the anger or the displeasure, she was still tolerating it. And that's also what I think we kind of miss when we talk about tolerance. It's not always patience.
No.
So to me, like, what that love is a decision is, she's saying, well, I'm making the decision to love him by tolerating him. And I was like, that's not my love then. My love, like I said earlier in this, is happiness. That is, if love is a decision, you have to decide that you want me to be happy, because that is my default. My default, I want to make you happy. I love seeing you happy. If I'm not in the mood for something, like let's say you want to talk all night and I don't have to be anywhere until 2 tomorrow, but I'm maybe not a little bit in the mood. Guess what? I know that's going to make you happy. And I'm going to start getting happy because you're happy.
Yeah.
And I like that. I love getting outside of myself. I love offering the stage to other people. I love being able to absorb someone's experience, because a lot of people are never looked at as individuals. They're always looked at as these projection screens of what is going on in my mind and in my life. So I get to have these moments with people, be it, just friendships or romantic relationships, where I get to get outside of myself. And seeing you happy makes me happy. Guess what? That means I want to date someone that wants to see me happy. But when I was in my lack mentality, I kept dating people who didn't give a shit about that. Why? Because I didn't see love as making me happy. I saw it as tolerating something.
Right.
So I'm like, this person who I was on the phone with last night doesn't have what I need, because I feel like you're tolerating what I need.
And abundance can exist through times of discomfort and pain and growth and friction.
Yeah, if there's curiosity, if there's, what are you feeling? How can I make this better? How can I make you happy? Because I'm choosing that you're a person that I consistently want to talk to. I have a great time with. Let's just leave it on a friendship level. I have a great time with you. I love you. Why would I ever want to lose you? Why would I imagine that your consistency is not a behavior of love and happiness and generosity, and that there's a trigger happening that is causing another side of you to come out, Why can't I be a part of your healing process and have compassion for the fact that all of us get nervous when bonding happens? We're going deeper down into an ocean. The pressure is getting higher, but you're going to start seeing things you've never seen. You get to communicate things that nobody else can know about. That's what water means. You and I have a relationship that nobody else will know about. That's why writing a eulogy is so fucking hard. How do you encapsulate your experience with somebody in one speech to people after they're gone? And the deeper you bond with somebody, the more you have of that feeling. And that's why we want to go towards that feeling. And that's why it's scary, because then you have to trust a lot.
I'm having huge child wound realization.
Oh my God, tell us.
No. I've never gone that deep. I never had that.
Yeah.
And that's why the pressure, the knowing, the deepening, it's like, that is my number one. I'm not afraid of anything. I'm a really brave woman. But God damn, knowing and being known is very scary.
Yeah, when you have parents that aren't interested in you, or don't give you, or aren't curious about you, or don't want to know your mind or your heart or your interests or your talent, don't want to join in on that, don't want to play with you.
Yeah.
It's harder to bond with somebody, because what happens if they go away? What happens if they don't like that bonding process? What happens if they just automatically disappear, and all of a sudden all of that trust and bond is gone? And how do you build that with somebody else? It's a long, hard process, and it doesn't happen with everybody.
Yeah. Dang.
And then I guess that phone call was super interesting, because I did kind of coach him through this process of the next pressure level of water. Like, to me, they sounded like they were enjoying the shore, but now she wants to get in the water, and he's seeing it as, well, now you're going to trap me. You're going to expect things of me that I don't always want to be expected of. You're going to, this and that. And honestly, what I think happens, and what I think has happened between you and me and my other close friends, is that we get to see where we were threatened by the other person, or where we were feeling upset by the other person, and recognize that actually nothing lives there. I actually admire that aspect of you. I admire your need for space, and actually it gives me a permission to take my own. I always thought that I had to be around everybody all the time in order for them to remember me or like me or know me. So we give each other these permissions, and that doesn't change the bedrock of the relationship. And so that's, I think, the art of bonding. And I want to read more on it to know it better, but I think the art of bonding is one person kind of has to be a little bit more secure than the other person. And
that's so real.
And I think a part of your intuition just knows that's not where he wants to go. And that's your competency. that's where you are or at least dismissing your own competency.
No, he wants to go. He
wants to go
can
deeper?
go. He's so stable.
But
Like,
if his behavior isn't going that's what I mean. Like,
well, and that is what I am trying to unearth from within myself, the truth of where I want to go and what the fuck
that's
that means.
very real. Exactly.
Because he's down, he's game, he can. He's comfortable with discomfort. He is cool with it. I'm meaning making, I'm telling stories. Am I being honest? What does it mean? Can I be loved and not make it mean that it's like a relationship? It's a contract. It's like a till death do us part. Like, can I be loved without becoming someone, being someone's partner?
You know what though, Jess? Yes, that's what I'm saying. Okay, this is actually the full moon in Sagittarius actually kind of brings this up because it's in the 7th house. Here's the thing. When you deepen, contracts are made. Yes.
Yeah, of course. Negotiations will be had.
Well, but that's the thing. That's what you deserve. That's what you deserve. If you're going to get closer, then I have to be able to say when I'm wrong. I have to show up at times I don't want to show up. I have to listen to you. I don't have to do that when we stay it can be juicy. It can be open and caring and loving, but it's not committed. Commitment is doing things and being people and showing up at times that you wouldn't have otherwise or wasn't expected otherwise. But that is a part of it.
And so where does my capacity lie for commitment?
That's a good question.
Because I'm unsure if I'm able to engage outside of commitment. Because I need some
assurance.
Construct of safety. Yeah.
No wonder you're feeling the way that you are then when you're out of your apartment, right? Your apartment is the construct of safety.
Yeah.
When you're out of your apartment, you recognize that his behavior or the things that you've decided upon or where you're supposed to tolerate or be chill or
it matches his words.
Exactly. Exactly. So he may have a capacity, but maybe not at this time in his life.
Yeah.
And so the question more so is like you said, what's your capacity for commitment? If you did not have that bonding process as a child, I didn't either. So I totally commiserate. You didn't have that bonding process as a child. You actually don't know what level of commitments you're capable of. And so that's why I think when we go deeper with people, it needs to be extremely conscious. Both people have to be in a place, in an alignment with each other, values with each other. With us, this is the podcast, I think. This is a deepening amount of trust that we're showing up at a certain time every week. We've been open with each other for so many years that we trust that our each other's words, we trust each other's perspectives. And so we've gone a little deeper. We've committed a little deeper. It doesn't feel overwhelming, but it took time and it took personalities learning each other. Yeah.
Communication.
Yeah. Permissions.
That's why I was just going to ask you about signs showing up in each other's houses, but this is different. So something I learned from actually this person's sibling is that sons, so like my son shows up in a house on your chart, and the house that I show up in on your chart informs my, like, the terms of engagement, or like, I guess, value, for lack of a better word. And so my son shows up in his, is it 6th or 4th? But basically that, like, I am like a servant to
What's
him.
his rising sign?
Virgo.
Yeah, I mean, you're in my 6th house too. It's the 6th house.
Yeah, and I feel this innate, and both his sibling and I like show up in the same house on his chart, and we both like literally as we were having this conversation, his sibling had walked out a plate of food to us, like, and the way that I just feel this like doormat energy where I'm just like, I'm down. And I find that my giving and my loving nature is just like, I'm like, I found the arena. Like I found my subject matter. And I'm so down. And it's the same with you, where like, no matter what friction comes up or whatever we have to communicate through, I'm so game to just make sure that I meet your needs. And even if you communicate that I figure out what my needs are and execute that, your need is for me to know my own, then I say, okay, and I figure it out, like that sort of subservient thing. And he's a Gemini, and he shows up in the body house.
Yeah, first house.
He's showing up in the middle of my body. So this overwhelming intoxication of like embodiment, and it's just like so many factors played into one another. And I wanted to talk to you more about just the way that worked, but I guess we could.
Let me really quick clarify really quick with the sun. You're talking about synastry, first of all. So what the sibling is talking about is something called synastry. Synastry is when you lay one person's chart onto another person's chart and you see where all the planets not only show up in each other's houses, but how they aspect each other's planets. So I can tell you, like what kind of dynamic both of you are going to experience between each other on a day-to-day basis. Basically how you trigger each other, calm each other, communicate with each other, open up to each other, close down to each other on a day-to-day basis. And then on top of that, the houses show you where in that person's life certain energies show up, where your psychology shows up. So the sun, in each house, I believe each energy has a conscious and an unconscious expression. So sure, servitude would probably be an unconscious expression. It's the sun is how you express yourself, and the house is the way that you express yourself to this person. So you can also say that it's your talent. So this person is really utilizing your talent for giving and regulating, because that's what the sixth house does. It's about health. It's about regulation. Detail orientation, seeing the little things, being able to communicate and analyze the little things. And servitude, like that's sort of the unconscious perspective of it is I am whatever you need me to be, or I am, I'm here to give you something. I'm here to serve you in some way. So it could be both. Whatever you find to be your talent or your enjoyed form of expression, that's where he's going to feel it the most, and that's where I would feel it the most, in your talent, right? So if he's a Gemini and he's in your body, right, because that's the first house, the house is also known as the house of happiness. So this house is what makes you feel like you're yourself. Now, you could also argue that the fifth house is the house of happiness, but that to me is more about joy and radiating joy, where happiness is just what's kind of personal to you. So the way that he operates and the talent that he has is the ability to open up in you who you actually are, that people just see. So you guys talk a lot. You talk a lot about topical things. It's kind of surface level things, but just fun things. So, but you also have a Venus in Sagittarius, which opposes his sun, which means that your values, like you said, your values and the things that you find beautiful or the things that you are drawn to are expansive because they're in Sagittarius. And he gets to open up because of that. He gets to learn new things because of that. He gets to feel like, wow, this person is offering me more value.
Yeah.
Yes.
You've stolen the words out of his mouth.
Yeah, and that makes you happy because it makes him happy because he's sitting in your first house. Right, exactly. So just to give everybody something, okay, Libra. So my sun is in your ninth house. Hang on. No, it's in your fifth house. So or potentially, I have to look at if I was talking about whole signs, it would be in your fifth house.
Okay.
Your fifth house is the house of joy, the house of fun, the house of levity. It's entrepreneurship. So my talent, I bring a lot of fun into your life. Like my talent is to like this yapping podcast thing. Like we have fun talking to each other. Like whatever expression I have, you have a good time with it.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's playful. It's non-serious. We can talk about deep things. But it's almost like we're laughing through it. We're the shamanistic way of looking at it, instead of the investigative, occult seriousness of it. We're trying to find the context in chaos, and that implies a levity, that there's some sort of rhyme or reason here if we could just suss it out.
There's air at the surface.
Exactly. And we are air signs. That gives us a lot of ease in conversation, but also we don't feel bogged down by, some kind of overwhelming responsibility. I think maybe in the beginning I felt that way, but that's just who I am. But between us, you've made it so much easier for me to express myself because my son is in your fifth house. You enjoy how I express myself. I've had a problem with how I express myself. So you've given me the room and the appreciation of a talent that I didn't know was a talent because it's in your fifth house.
That's what's up. That is my secret talent. That's what I do for people. I see that left and right, front and center.
Yeah, absolutely. But I happen to bring into your space this sense of joy in the way that I express. So even if you were able to cultivate someone else's expression, my sense of expression, my talent actually is fun for you. You're like that, do that. Whatever that was, do more of that thing. That thing right there. That was funny. That was good.
You delight me.
You delight me. Exactly. So anybody who wants to know what their sun is in another person's chart, you would need to know the person's rising sign in order to set the houses.
Because the rising sign determines the first house?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And so then you know where it goes, where the wheel goes.
Exactly. That's why I'm able to see where the sun is in my mind, because as long as I know your rising sign for doing coal sign, I can see the whole chart.
Oh, thanks for going there with me.
That was awesome. Thank you so much for going there with me. Because I just had this experience, and I'm so glad that it resonated for you, because I was hoping it would be an episode. And then you were like, stop, record. And I was like,
wait. Hold on, because did the full moon have anything to do with this?
May 31st will be the full moon. May 30th.
Oh, okay. Are we still in the new moon energy, or have we shifted out? Because last week you said 2 weeks.
Yeah, you would. Okay, so in broad terms, technically, but really if you're following the moon, you're following all of the phases. So the new moon would have been done in 2 days, basically.
Yeah, and now it's just like we're blowing the balloon back up. Wow. What a shallow metaphor for a waxing moon. Sorry, moon. I apologize to the moon.
Yeah, so if you were to really follow moon magic or moon manifestation, the new moon energy would have been done in 2 days, and you would be going to a waxing moon energy, and that would be, there's 8 phases of the moon. So you would follow those 8 phases into swell and then into release, 8 phases.
Oh, cool. Okay. Amazing.
Such a good conversation, because I think this is where we're something we're trying to formulate before our love season is what do we even think at all? What do we think at all? And I'm so glad I got kind of confronted with this hill, because I'm like, I'm in the dark. I don't know what I think. And now I'm like, I can't wait to read and to discover things, because I actually am seeing what makes me feel loved and what kind of love I want to give. And I don't feel threatened if you don't have it. If you don't have it, you don't have it. I mean, sure, I can feel rejected, or I can feel sad that it didn't go in that direction, but it has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
And my ego doesn't feel threatened or harmed by the fact that you don't have what I need. You just don't, and you even know it because you aren't coming closer to me. If you're not coming closer to me, if you're pushing me away, I need to listen to you. I need to listen to you. Your behavior is more important than any conversation we have.
Yeah.
Right. So I've got to listen to that. And maybe that's also a good wrap up of what you're experiencing is the behavior in the bedroom is fucking amazing, but the behavior outside the bedroom, maybe I need to really rethink about how I perceive this relationship. And
re-strategize. As a yapper, I can confidently say actions speak louder than words, but what are my actions?
Exactly. Like, you not texting him could also be a signal to him that you don't want anything more. So you're both, it's a mirror. This is a mirror.
It's so cliche, though. Texting always, no matter what you say when you texting is such a cop-out, because it's like, even if you're saying, I don't want to say anything else, you're saying something, you want to talk, you want to communicate. It's like, texting is so bogus.
Or voice message. I like to do that sometimes. But connecting, period.
Well, just like any contact saying you don't want to contact is so silly.
Well, and that's called cognitive dissonance. Like, that's what that is. Like, both things can't exist. Exactly. So this is your crossroads. This is your hermit. You're looking inside of yourself and asking, am I behaving this way for a reaction? Or am I behaving this way for a test? Am I behaving this way to reinforce a perspective I have of love or this person? Or am I being freely expressive the way that I want to be, and allowing the way that he expresses back to either be a blow to my ego, or just to soothe my ego, or for me to understand my ego a little bit more, And I know that sounds really almost like maybe not that fun. Maybe it doesn't sound as romantic, but if you want to squeeze all the healing out that you can get from this person, he's got more that you need that's in a direct way than an indirect way. There's certain things that you know that he doesn't want to be in a relationship right now. You know that he's not available because he's also not going to be even in the neighborhood forever. And so these are things that you can tell yourself, let me be as direct as I can be so that I can start feeling this anxiety around directness dropping away, because I know nothing's happening with this person moving forward. I know that. That's the reality.
Good food for thought. We came hungry today.
Right? We're good. Oh, God. All
right. Okay, I'm going to take this with me into the next week and see what other stones I can throw through windows.
Perfect. And we are so excited that you all are still tuning into our little show.
If you're here, we love you. If you're not here, we love you. But if you're here, you're special.
Exactly. Special like us.
Unconditionally.
And if there's anything you have discovered about love, or the way that you love, or what you want from love, or that if you realize that you're in a deficit, or if you're in this tunnel, whatever, if there's anything that resonated about it, please share it, because we'd love to hear.
How can they share it, Vanessa?
You get the newsletter, and then you go into the podcast on Substack and you leave a little comment.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Love it. So until next time?
Until next time. Bye, Jose.
Goodbye to you. Goodbye to everyone.
Thank you for joining us. And until next time, as above, so below, blessed be.